Okay. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's do team set at the start. Some gear at the end, yes. Oh, I do want to actually. Uh, Most likely I do want this way. Okay. And I'll turn off mic. I'm working on the filters. We'll see how this one goes. It was much better last time.
Today we're going to look at a particularly strange form of matter, literally called strange matter, and it's contagious. It's so stable that all matter in the universe might want to be strange. Let's find out more. Firstly, let's think about matter. What we call normal matter, although we don't even call it normal matter, we just call it matter, is made from atoms. And as I've already mentioned in a number of videos, atoms are made from protons, neutrons and electrons. And even the protons and neutrons are made from smaller particles called quarks. Neutrons are made from 1 up and 2 down quarks, and protons are made from 2 up and 1 down quark. So all the matter that we can see and normally associate with the term matter is made up of just 2 types of quarks and electrons. So what about the other types of quark? Well, quarks are quite strange things. Firstly, quarks come in different flavours. Yeah, I know, physicists are weird. And there are 6 flavours. They are up and down. Those are the ones that we're familiar with. But there are others. There are also top and bottom quarks. And finally, we have strange and charm quarks. There are also corresponding anti-quarks for each of the 6 flavours. And quarks don't like being on their own. They're always found joined together. Hadrons are particles made up from quarks and fall roughly into 2 groups. Firstly, we have the mesons, and these are formed from a quark and an antiquark pair held together by gluons. And there are lots and lots of different mesons, from the positive pion, made from 1 up quark and 1 down antiquark, to the strange D meson, made from a charmed quark and a strange antiquark. Mesons are created in high-energy interactions, such as those that happen in particle accelerators or in stars as part of cosmic rays. Mesons are also unstable. Some of the lighter ones, made from up and down quarks, are more stable, lasting for maybe hundredths of a microsecond. Other heavier mesons are even less stable than that. Heavier mesons decay into lighter mesons, and then eventually decay into electrons, neutrinos, and photons, which are stable. Quarks are also involved in the production of baryons, and these contain 3 quarks each, again held together by gluons. Most of these are very unstable and have lifetimes of mere fractions of a second, apart from obviously the 2 that we know very well, the proton and the neutron, each made from 3 quarks, held together by gluons. Well, to say that isn't quite true. And quarks are fascinating and a little bit weird. I might make them a video all on their own. Anyway, let's carry on. Protons are immensely stable, with an estimated lifespan of 10 to the 35 years. Put that into context. The age of the universe currently is about 1.3 times 10 to the 10 years. So protons are expected to last for a very long time. Neutrons that are found in the nuclei of atoms are also stable. But free neutrons have a half-life of about 879 seconds. That's about 15 minutes. They decay when one of their down quarks undergoes weak nuclear decay and turns into an up quark. The neutron then becomes a proton, ejecting an electron and an antineutrino. So that's the different types of quarks and some of the particles that they can form. So what's this got to do with strange matter? Well, strange matter happens to be made from strange quarks. But I've already said that particles that are formed from any quarks that aren't up or down are very unstable and don't last for very long. Particles that have strange quarks as one of their constituents are generally very unstable. Kaon, strange D meson and the strange B meson, all particles that include strange quarks or antiquarks, have lifespans that are fractions of a second. In fact, the strange quark got its name from a particular property that it has. In the early days of particle physics research, physicists found lots of particles with very brief lifetimes. Some other particles lasted for longer than expected, and this property was quite strange. Later they discovered that the common particle to all the other particles that live for longer than expected was in fact the soon-to-be named strange quark. Even so, these particles, as we've already seen, only lasted for tiny fractions of a second. It seems then that strange matter isn't something that can exist in our universe for any length of time. Well, that's not quite true. But in order to explore further, we do need to pay another visit to one of the most
Okay, I'm just gonna let
extreme
this
places in
keep
the
going,
universe.
and I'll mark
Yes,
timestamps.
We're going back to a neutron star.
I guess.
Don't worry.
We'll see how
I've
far
got
I
my
get.
time and space machine, and after it got a bit beat up when we visited that magnetar, I've given it a paint job, and I think it looks amazing. And look, we've already arrived at a neutron star. On the inside of neutron stars, the protons and electrons that make up the atoms are squashed together by the immense force of gravity to produce neutrons. As we move down through the star towards the core at the centre, the pressure of gravity squashes the neutrons closer and closer together. We don't really know what it's like at the centre of a neutron star, but in some models, even the neutrons are broken apart into their constituent quarks. These quarks are normally bound together into the particles we mentioned before, but under the intense pressure inside a neutron star, it may be possible for the quarks to break apart and become a super dense soup of quarks all sloshing around. If this happens, because the star is then formed mainly of quarks separated from each other, we call this a quark star. And these are actually really similar to neutron stars, just a little smaller. Inside these quark stars, and under intense conditions, some of the up quarks can change their flavour and become strange quarks. Particles containing strange quarks are usually unstable, but the strange quarks here are not confined within particles. Under these conditions, strange quarks are stable, very stable in fact. This would form new strange particles made from one up quark, one down quark, and one strange quark. In fact, these particles are known as lambda hyperons, and is one form of strange matter that could form at the heart of a neutron star. This new type of matter would be perfectly dense, perfectly stable, and indestructible. A new kind of matter, strange matter. In fact, so stable is this type of strange matter, so dense, that collisions of this matter and normal matter would rip apart the protons and neutrons that make up the normal matter, turning it into more strange matter. This strange matter then seems to be infectious and would spread and overwhelm the normal matter until only strange matter remained. So, with the strange matter safely contained within the strange stars, it would appear that we would be quite safe from these universal levels of strangeness. Well, that might not be quite the case. Even though neutron stars are stable with huge gravity wells, they sometimes exist in binary pairs. Binary pairs of stars are quite common across the universe. This then leads to the reasonable possibility that two stars in a binary pair could both become neutron stars. This could then lead to the possibility the neutron stars could collide. This merger would result in an explosion similar to a supernova called a kilonova, and this would eject the strange matter in small fragments called strangelets. Strangelets could range in size, the smallest being just a few centimetres across, and larger strangelets could be anything up to several metres across. However, above this point, they would then be termed strange stars themselves. These strangelets would then drift across space. It's thought that if a strangelet ever came into contact with another star or planet, then the stability of the strange matter would transform the other celestial body to strange matter, like an infection spreading through a population. This could then lead to strange stars and strange planets dotted across the cosmos, frightening reminders of the power of strange matter. It's possible that strangelets are responsible for at least some of the dark matter in the universe, it being very dense and heavy. So, is that yet another galactic terror for us to worry about? Well, not really, for a number of reasons. Firstly, physicists aren't even certain of the existence of strange matter, although the models suggest that it should exist, and we've found a number of candidate stars and potentially planets that may be made from strange matter. Secondly, strange matter may only be stable under the extreme conditions found inside neutron stars. Once released, the strangelets may decay like other matter-containing strange quarks. Another problem with this strange matter hypothesis is that most of the matter on Earth was formed in supernova explosions. Most of the atoms in your hand were produced during the end stages in the life of a massive star. Recent research suggests that heavier elements were produced in one of two ways. Gold and heavy elements such as that seem to be produced either in neutron star collisions or a collision between a black hole and a neutron star. If a neutron star collision produced most of the gold on Earth, then it should also have spewed out at the same time strangely. Another way that gold may have been produced is when a neutron star collides with a black hole. I'm sure it's no surprise for me to tell you that the black hole will win, but as the neutron star spirals towards its doom, it will be ripped apart by the black hole, spewing out its contents. Some of the gold that we find on this planet may have been born in such a cataclysmic event. If then there is some gold here on Earth, shouldn't there also be strangelets? Maybe it is the case that the strange matter isn't as stable as we might think. Or maybe strange matter is destroyed in the collision. Maybe strange matter can only be maintained as stable than in the extreme conditions within a neutron star. Finally, to question this strange matter hypothesis is the idea that strange matter is all around us all the time here on Earth anyway. A neutron is made from 3 quarks, 1 up, 2 down. But that's just overall. Neutrons may contain many, many quarks and antiquarks produced for short periods by quantum fluctuations. And they just contain 1 additional up quark and 2 additional down quarks. These quarks popping into and out of existence would also include strange quarks. But these don't seem to be stable and don't convert the neutrons into strange matter. So maybe it is true that strange matter is only stable within the heart of stars. I'm finishing my journey here in the far future. I'm actually in Ganymede City, enjoying the view. I was asked to say hello to Bumble and Simba, and so, seeing as they asked very nicely, I've come here to do that. I think I'll spend a bit of time here and have a think about my next video. But for now, and until next time, thank you for watching.
Hey. ¿Por dónde vas? Ya casi llegando acá al sur. ¿Qué se mira, güey? ¿Cómo está para allá? La voy a tener tranquila, solo que no he visto nada todavía. Si puedes, si encuentras algo, ando metiendo, porfa. Sí, para allá voy.
Between the months of October and January, people like Omar Martinez head out on Utah's Great Salt Lake nearly every day to collect millions of pounds of brine shrimp eggs, which are sold as food to commercial fisheries around the world.
It's 7 in the morning, it's freezing cold. This is the last day of their season to make any money. This all used to be lake. They had to dig this trench just to get out to the main part of the lake to do their jobs.
Oh,
So this season, has it been like other seasons?
No,
What's different?
the water, the level. The first obstacle that we faced was to get out.
You couldn't even get out of the harbor because the lake had dried up.
See all that sand on the
Yeah.
right side? We're big enough so we can make deeper.
Brine shrimping is big business in Utah. What we know as sea monkeys are actually microscopic crustaceans that produce tons of eggs each season. Harvesting companies bring in $60 million a year by collecting the eggs that float to the surface. But the Western Hemisphere's largest, saltiest source of water is disappearing.
excuse me.
Low water levels make it nearly impossible for anyone to get out of the lake, particularly shrimpers.
Where there used to be water, now it's rocks. Something that you can notice right away. The lake is drying out. The lake provides so many things, not only salt, minerals for companies, provides a way of living for everyone here.
Are you worried?
Yeah, I'm worried because I love this. I love the lake. If this is gone, it's hard to get that picture for us. We sleep here, we live here, we ate here, we work here. This is home. Not only for us, animals, birds, they live a lot from here.
Satellite images show the lake drying up fast. It's lost about 750 square miles of surface area, or about 2.5 New York cities. That massive drop in water is creating a huge ecological problem for Utah. Toxic sediment laced with arsenic and lead is sucked up from the exposed lake bed, forming dust clouds that worsen air quality and could lead to increased rates of asthma and cancer. A disappearing lake is also making it harder for companies to mine minerals Americans use every day, like table salt and magnesium, which is used to manufacture everything from car seats to power tools and laptops. And conservationists are already seeing a decline in the millions of migratory birds that stop here each year to feed before making their way south. But brine shrimpers like Jeff Larson have seen this coming for years.
Oh, actually, shoot.
Jeff works as a spotter for the brine shrimp industry. For nearly 2 decades, he's been flying across the lake to find floating eggs for shrimpers to harvest.
This year, the first flight out of the lake, it was shocking to me how much.
Help me remember to start the recording. If you want recording, do you want recording of this?
Yes, I want one session at least recorded so
Okay.
that if somebody has a major need.
Okay.
But Peter, I was going to ask you, you know what I forgot to check on? What is our available dollar for this year?
Peter, you're
You're muted, Peter.
we can't hear you, Peter.
What? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I don't know the answer to the question. But
Yeah,
my recollection is that we only have something on the order of less than $60,000 this year.
I thought that was next year.
I
I thought next year was 57.
One,
I thought next year was 57.
well, I thought this year was actually less than that. But I'm not sure.
I was trying to look it up and I'm just not finding it.
Well, you have to go into the start the grant. That'll tell you what the answer is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I'm going to get out of here. Okay, so that's where I want it. If do you want to guess?
Okay,
I
this
wanna
isn't
guess.
working, so I'm gonna stop right
Um,
here.
I
This team
I mean,
I thought it
can't go anywhere.
I can give you a
think.
guess here in a minute.
Maybe they could wear them down. I don't know
No, they're-
because they'll heal.
They're
But
normally
I'm gonna stop.
pretty close.
Well, waste family actually.
I
The last
thought it
one was
more than
perfect,
in the
and-
50 to 60. I thought
Oh, well.
I thought we were close to